everybody, Tom from How to Wrangler here. Today I'm going to show you a quick install video on these Drake off-road hood hold downs. They replace the standard hood hold down that comes with the Jeep. You know, this part of the hood hold down is rubber, so this has metal. Obviously it holds it directly in place on the hood. If you ever driven on the highway and a big gust of wind has come along and your hood's lifted up and hit the metal catch under here, it's a little scary, especially when you put the bug deflector on. It gets even worse. So this is kind of an add-on to my new bug deflector, and it's going to keep the hood stable and locked down. So I'm going to go through the quick couple steps install, and hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so step one, you're going to get a 10mm socket wrench, and you're going to take off the nuts on the inside of the catch on the hood. Pretty easy. Take off. And then this part just pops right off. Take this along with it. Okay. Now we're going to move on to step two, which is removing the bottom piece. Alright, so the next step to remove this bottom bracket, you're going to need a 13mm ratchet. And you want to get one as small as you can find, because to fit in there, to get behind where the nut is back here, you're going to need it really small. Even this one's a little tight. I can get it in by putting some force on it and it'll slide in, but you don't want a big one. So behind here there is a nut that you can start to loosen, just like that. Get it to the point where you can use your fingers, and be very careful. You don't want to drop it. It is pretty easy. It has a washer on the back of it that's kind of attached, and you can just catch it in your fingers. And then carefully pull it out, just like that. And then this piece pops right off. And then right there, you can slide that off. You can actually leave this piece in place if you want. We're going to use that again when we install the other new bracket here. So the step after this, I'm going to just clean these up with a little wet cloth, the two spots, and then I'll come back and we'll start the installation of the new hood hold down. Okay, so you're going to get two brackets in the kit, right? And the top is the part that has the two holes in the bottom. That's going to go up here. You're going to want the loop of the chain to go towards the front, so make sure you got the right one for the right side. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this loop out, and we're going to attach the top bracket this way with the loop on top. So take the rubber backing, put that on the back piece like this. And then we're going to put screws through the front. Like that. Right there. And then on the back, the washer and the nut. These are the smaller of the two. You'll notice in the kit there's a washer that has a bigger opening. That one goes in the bottom. And the bigger bolts and nuts also go on the bottom. So put these on loosely, because you're going to then take 10mm socket and a Torx T25 for the top. Okay. Now hold that in place. Tighten it down. There we go. Tighten on the other one, make sure it's all the way. Okay, nice and secure. Alright, so that's pretty simple. Now we're going to move on to the bottom piece. Alright, so for the bottom piece now, we're going to have to take this whole assembly apart. And there's two little brushings on the outside. You got to be very careful, you can lose them. And you're going to use a Torx T40. And to remove this, just loosen it up. Okay, cup your hand below to make sure that you don't lose parts. You take this piece out, you can see these little guys come out too. Alright? So we're going to put these together on there so we don't lose them. Put this part aside. Okay? Now, the next step, I need to get my 13 millimeter torque wrench. I'll be right back. Okay, so now for the bottom piece. What you're going to want to do is make sure that you've got this aligned first with the chain going in the front, and then also this little nub here is going to go into this rubber piece here. So you want to make sure you've got it lined up the right way. Then you're going to put the bolt through here. The rubber backing, this one has the cutouts like that, so that everything lines up right. And we'll slip that in just like that. Okay. Now this kit does come with another bolt and washer for the back, but they suggest you can use the original, which I found a lot easier because it's connected to the washer. So it's a lot easier because you're going to be putting this back here with your fingers and, you know, trying to put a washer and a nut back in there as you're reaching around through, and you can drop it and everything. It's just a lot easier doing it this way. So I'm going to put it in my fingers like this and reach around until I can get a little bit of traction and start to get that in place. This part can be a little bit tricky. It's a lot of its feel. What I'm actually going to do, I'm having a little bit of trouble here. There we go. Okay, so I've got it started, so I know it's not going to fall off. And then you're going to take a Torx T30 for the outside here, and your 13 millimeter socket, and again popping it through there. And this time it's just going to hold it in place on the back. You tighten it down, just like that, and then pop this guy out again. Then the final step is to put this piece back together. Now this is one of the trickiest parts of this entire installation, because what you got to do is very carefully put the ring on the inside here, and this other ring kind of hanging out on the edge, and then you've got to stick this piece in the middle. And it's a little bit tricky because it moves around a lot. But once you get it just like that, pop it in, then you just got to secure it down, Once again, now you're going to take the Torx T40 once again and make sure that's nice and tight. Just like that. All right. And now, final step. Close down the hood. And it does make it a little bit more difficult with my bug guard here, but basically going to line this up, and you can move this around in and out by twisting just like that until you get it through, and then you want to tighten it down. You can see the hood getting tighter and looser, so you want to tighten it down to a good spot where it feels nice and tight, and then you can lock it into place with these nuts. I'm going to get a wrench and really tighten them down. But there you go. Now it's to the point where it's not too tight. I can still, maybe it's a little too tight. You want to make sure it's not overly tight so you can still open the hood, because you don't want to necessarily be loosening this every time just to open your hood. So right about there is good. It's tight enough, but I can still open the hood. So I'm going to tighten those down, and there you go. That's the entire install. So hope you guys enjoy this, and you know, like I said, if you guys get a bug guard, I highly recommend doing this install. You know, they cost about $100, $110. I'll put a link to the Amazon for you guys to buy these, and I appreciate if you do, because it, you know, it gives me a little bit of money so I can keep on going on making more videos. So enjoy, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.